Good afternoon, everyone. This is Nithar Ramachandra from the NR Media Sports Show, back with another episode alongside with one of our co-hosts, Jeremy Fishman. Go follow him. He does a great job with his stuff. But today we are joined by a really special guest. Happy Thursday. I hope everyone is having a great day. Obviously, it's beautiful and warm here in Jersey and wherever you guys are, almost Friday. So the weekend is upon us. And like I said, we have a special guest, and fans, please tune in. Everybody knows about our Spreaker app on my phone where you can ask questions, and we are live on iHeartRadio, Spotify, and all the podcast platforms. And we are joined by Jace Feely. He's a place kicker for Colorado, for the University of Colorado. First, he had a great high school career, and in 2021 he committed to Oregon, and then he went to Arizona State, and then now he's in Colorado. He has an interesting background, interesting story, and if anybody does not know about him, he's the son of former NFL place kicker Jace Feely, who had a great NFL career. So we'll get to all of that and how he got into football. But Jace, thank you for joining us. It's truly an honor. And like I said, we've been following your story, and our team reached out to you about coming on, and but it finally happened. So Jace, thank you, and welcome to the show.
Well, thanks you guys for having me on.
Yeah, no problem. So Jeremy, you want to start off first here?
Yeah, I want you to kind of take us through your football journey from where you started all the way up until now.
Let's see. Well, grew up around football, loving it and everything. I didn't really play that much. I started my freshman year, started kicking, made a 50 and went on Sports Illustrated on their Instagram or whatever as a freshman. So that kind of felt good. So I was like, yeah, maybe I keep doing this. So I kept doing it throughout high school. I played linebacker, and I liked linebacker a lot more, but I got to stick to what I'm good at. So kept kicking. Got offered from Oregon, and then on signing day, I got my scholarship pulled because they had a corner flip. So they needed a scholarship free, and I was that guy. So didn't end up going there, and ended up walking on as a preferred walk-on with a promise of scholarship. Going to Arizona State, and that really never happened. A bunch of stuff happened there that it's all well and done with, and now I'm here. Now I'm in Colorado, and I can't be more blessed to be here.
Yeah. So before we go any further, Jace, can you talk about, obviously, everybody wants to know about the update about your coach, Deion Sanders, who just had surgery, major surgery, as we speak, and I think they posted a picture of him on Twitter recently, and. Just talk about I don't know if you know any updates on him, when he'll be back, and what's it going to be like playing for him though.
Coach Prime is a fighter, man. I mean, like, I didn't even know about the surgery. Like the first one that he was getting that blood clot in his leg.
Yeah,
he was out at practice yelling at our guys up there, showing them how to do their stuff. Like Coach Prime is a dog, and he's always going to be a dog. He's always going to show what that level of intensity is, and he's going through another surgery, and I have no doubt that he's going to be back here doing the exact same thing that he's been doing, and working to even be involved even more. So I mean, it's really good to see a guy who grinds as much as more than any other person like that you're going to be around. So especially to have that as your coach, it's really inspiring. Yeah.
Can you talk about what the training routine as a college kicker is?
Yeah, so we do everything with the team. I mean, the same as the team. Right now, we get in a little earlier, so we're not lifting in the offensive defensive groups. We're lifting as a special teams group, but we get in there early so that we can get more work in while they're getting their work in. So for me, that is I kick around 3-4 times a week, and specific days will be devoted to specific things, whether it's more field goal heavy, more kickoff heavy. And then on those days that I'm not kicking, I'm getting in drill work and working on my body and extra stuff like that. So I would say my regimen is pretty much every day is workout, run, kick, or do something involved with kicking and stretch and all that stuff. I got big list on my locker room wall of what to do.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, speaking of your father, Jace Feely, obviously everybody knows him, a former NFL kicker, and I watched him throughout his career, and he had a great career, great kicker. Would you say that made you wanted to be in football? Also, seeing your father in the NFL and seeing his journey, his path.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, being around him and getting older around him and being able to listen and hear more stories, it just makes football that much more special. Is all these brotherships, all these friendships, all these stories that you wouldn't have going into your life that he got from playing and being a great teammate in football. That really inspires me. It's like, all right, that's how you do it, and that's the rewards from doing it. Yeah, you get to play, but you get to have these long-lasting relationships that go beyond the bounds of football. You know.
And just to follow up on that, what's it like playing the same position as your father?
It's amazing. I couldn't have anyone better to turn to.
Mhm.
A lot of kickers growing up, they have to turn to their kicking coaches, and they have to turn to a guy who's not really, maybe doesn't have the best interest for them. I have a guy whose only interest for
Mhm.
me is bettering me,
Mhm.
and so I have just this amazing resource that I can reach out to, that I can ask questions to, and really have look at me and train me and do there's nothing in the world I could have asked for more than to have him as my coach, my father, everything. Yeah, it's amazing.
Hmm.
Love that. Do you have a most memorable game that you've played in, and tell us about that?
I think my most memorable game was in high school. I
Mhm.
had two safeties, three sacks, I think
Oh wow,
12 solo tackles and three field goals.
that's crazy.
So
In one,
it was a nuts game. I got Cardinals Player of the Week for that game. Yeah, it was fun. That was a fun game.
that's all. Wait, in one game?
Yeah, that was all one game.
Oh wow, that's
Yeah, it was
that's that,
crazy.
that's amazing. We have a actually speaking of questions, we have a fan question here that just popped in on my phone on our speaker app.
Yeah.
They want to know what they want to know what's your father like as a coach when he was coaching you when you were younger. One of our fans wants to know what was he like as a coach.
Uh, Fiery but understanding. He's got that Feely fire. I've always said that the Feely name is definitely got some fire behind it. We're a little quick to anger type of guys. So definitely some heated moments that I think is just a part of when you're younger. Is I think I'm right. He knows he's right. So it's me arguing against somebody who knows he's right. So obviously there's gonna be some tension there, but it was amazing having him
Uh,
because he didn't force me to do anything.
uh,
Like I said with football, golf was my main sport growing up. Golf, soccer, all that stuff. And when I wanted to kick, he was like, "All right, let's kick. And if you're going to be serious about this, let's seriously get ready to kick."
uh,
And so now that I was able to make that decision myself, I think that bond between us grew even better. And him as a coach and as a father were merged as one instead of being separate things.
mhm.
How do you balance playing a college sport and then also with your academic life?
Mhm.
It's tough, but not really. Like, I mean, if you work at it and you're like going to get it done, it's not too bad. Like when you start like diddle daddling around and not like touching stuff and kind of leaving it to the last day, then it's gonna get tough. It's all gonna pile on you and you're gonna have busy days. But if you get a chunk of it done in a day, in an hour, do whatever, it's not too bad.
Yeah, so so our team when we promoted your thing, we posted yesterday of a video when you were in high school kicking a 52-yard field goal.
Yep.
Everybody went nuts. So talk about that experience in high school kicking that 52-yarder.
I think it was really cool to be able to do that for my team and to be able to be a asset and a weapon that could do that for the team. So whenever I got those long attempts, it was really cool, especially to have teammates and coaches who cared about me so much as to that's their reaction. Because I mean, you don't hear that everywhere. You don't hear like that guy yelling in that video. That was like that was our assistant coach, and me and him are still close to this day. I mean, he's screaming like his kid just scored like a goal or something like that. And I mean, that's really special to go back and just be like, all right, these guys really truly cared about me. And that's something I think we have here at Colorado too, is like these coaches care. Like
Yeah.
they care about us as players, not just players, but us as men as well. So it's really cool to see that.
How do you handle the pressure behind a kick, especially when it's like in a game-winning situation?
Uh, it's tough. I would say repetition, and I think that's a lot of what guys don't see in the kicker position is that a lot of our reps are mental reps.
Hmm.
It might not be physically exerting, but in our head, like we have to think the exact same way. We have to get everything lined up the exact same way. And so to be able to be calm and collected when going into that game winning kick. So a lot of the stuff we do is between the head. For kicking, I would say it's about 70-30 in the mental versus physical aspect of the game. So I would say being able to have your mental reps and be confident enough in yourself that you can do that kick going into those things makes it easy, because then you're lining up as it's just another kick, and you're not thinking about, oh, this is a game winner, oh, this is a 56-yard kick, oh, whatever. As soon as you get that in your head, you start to lose it. And so I think going into those, approaching it is just another kick, just another thing that you are designed to do. Like, that's how you handle that pressure in those situations.
Yeah, so speaking of Colorado, what did you like about the school when you were entering the transfer portal? What were you looking for? What kind of school were you looking for? And what made Colorado attractive to you?
I mean, obviously we're in a beautiful area. It's
Yeah.
gorgeous every single day I wake up here. I gotta look at the Flatirons. It's amazing. Uh, let's say the elevation, I get an extra 10-15% on my ball flight. So I'm gonna take that where I can get it. And who would not want to go play for Coach Prime?
Let's
Like,
go.
who in the world would not gonna want to play for this man? The greatest corner of all time. Like, I don't understand how you wouldn't want to go play for him. So it's just that what we have here, I think, is so special with the guys that we have here, with the coaches that we have here. It's something that, like, when you get presented that opportunity, you can't pass it up. It's something that God put on your platter. So I had to come here.
Like, tell our fans, like, what was it like when Sanders came calling to you, or when they came when they
I mean,
contacted you? Yeah.
yeah, I was so I had gotten in contact, nothing really solid. I had a couple of schools I was looking at. I was had talked to him a little bit, and we were kind of figuring things out, talking to all these different coaches, because it was like probably around 5 days before the deadline that I needed to get something figured out. So I was on my way packing to go to Memphis, to where I probably would have signed if I went on that trip. And I got a call from our special teams coach, Coach Trevor Riley,
Yeah.
and Coach Prime, and it was like, we want you up here. We're going to scholarship you up here to Colorado. And I was like, done. And so I packed up that day. I went home, packed up, and in 2 days I was driving up and was up
Wow.
here. So, yeah,
Wow. Mm.
it was quick, but it like I said, it was a golden platter like given to me, so I couldn't pass that up.
Wow.
Mhm.
Can you talk about a time where you've experienced failure and how you've come back from that?
I would say my time at ASU. Like, I went in there knowing I could beat out and win the job, and knowing I was promised a scholarship. And my first year, I know I didn't kick as well as I needed to show off for the coaches, and there was he really took me under his wing and helped me with my kick, and knew I had the ability to be better. So I would say my 2 years there, I worked my butt off, but I didn't get to the point where I wanted to be. So that was my biggest failure, but it also turned into my biggest asset, being able to come here. And it's something that I think, in the grand scheme of things, I needed to go through to understand more about myself and more about my kicking and more about what makes me tick and what makes me be better.
Hmm. We have another fan question here in our app here. One of our fans wants to know they want to know when Deion Sanders was at Jackson State University, he brought the hype into the locker room. So our fan wants to know, are you guys gonna be ready when he says, "Give me my theme music"?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I love his theme music. It gets you bumping. And I experienced it a lot going into the spring game when
Yeah.
we were right at that tunnel. Oh, it was so hype. The coaches got us all hype. It was awesome. So it's definitely, it's gonna be an insane season. It's gonna be crazy.
Yeah. And speaking of
Do you have any
yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
uh, do you have any pregame routines or superstitions that you follow?
Um, yeah, I would say the sheet I go through in my head of kicking, I go out beforehand and I'll make my steps from my favorite spots, and I'll map out the air. I'll go and feel the air on both sides and see how it's coming in the stadium. What else do I got? It used to be, I used to wear gloves like my dad. That used to be my thing. I don't know if I'm gonna keep doing it, but I'm definitely gonna wear the wristbands like he used to wear. So that's definitely my pregame thing. It's like game ready stuff. Yeah.
Even when you go to cold places, you're not gonna wear the glove.
I might throw the gloves on. I might throw the gloves on. We gotta see. We gotta see what looks good.
But speaking of recruits, I looked at the recruiting list for you guys, and Deion Sanders and the rest of the coaching staff did a hell of a job recruiting
Mhm.
people, not only you but other teammates, and also his son came here,
Yep.
the quarterback. So
Yeah.
what's gonna be like playing with him, and then also the other recruits that came in here.
I think that all the recruits that came in here were brought in here for a purpose,
Yeah.
and each plays their individual role. Like right now, like we just had a team meeting about it, and it's like, no, you guys are no longer 5 stars. You guys are no longer 4 stars. We are all here. We're all competing. The best guy's going to start. And so I feel like all these great recruits that we brought in here are just even better for the competition that's going to be in house and something that our team goes through. And it's going to make each guy better.
Mhm.
So all those recruits that we brought in, I mean, they're going to better the next guy next to them, and they're going to better themselves by being that good. And with Shador saying, yeah, he's
Oh,
fantastic. He's made some throws in practice that I'm like, holy cow.
yeah.
And Travis, he's made some catches where I'm like, this is insane.
Wow.
So it's definitely going to be a very fun year, and the guys that we brought in were perfect, and it's gonna be great. Yeah.
I know you mentioned linebacker before, but if you could play any other position besides a kicker and a linebacker, what would it be?
Hmm. Um, that's a tough one. I probably would have to go the special teams route just for longevity in NFL.
Mhm.
I'll take if I was as good as I was at kicking as a snapper, I would take that because snappers have 16-year long careers if they're good. So I'll take 16 free years in the NFL. I'll take that.
Wow. Yeah, so when it comes to like like routine though, what for like what Jeremy said before about the routine with the kickers, but for you yourself though, like what is your own routine though when you get ready for a game?
For me, when I get ready for a game, is I'll take around 10 warm up kicks,
Mhm.
about 10 on the sticks, and then I'll take 10 lives,
Mhm.
and then I'll go back to 60. I'll hit a 60, see how I'm feeling from there. And then I'll do a couple more like here and there live kicks. I might get some punting in just in case. I'll hit probably around 5 kickoffs just to get ready, warm. And that'll be about an hour from the game starting time.
Okay.
And then once I'll go back in the locker room. We'll come back out, and then this is how it was at ASU.
Mhm.
And then I'll probably get like maybe 1 or 2 kickoffs and maybe a little run through field goal just to feel good.
We have another fan question here. They want to know, outside of your father, what other field goal kickers did you look up to,
Oh, Justin
watch
Tucker.
Oh, Justin Tucker.
Yeah, Justin Tucker. I've met him many times, and I've talked to him and been able to go through my kick with him, and he's just a
Wow.
master of the craft, the best in the business.
Mhm.
He's amazing. You watch his form, you watch him kicking. He came out to ASU's practice field, the Ravens did, and we got to sit out there and go watch their special teams and talk with him and like watch it. And he's hitting 65 for warmups. Like he's just booming them down the middle, and you're like, oh my gosh, it's nuts.
Wow.
So that's definitely somebody I would 100% look up to and try to have his type of career. Yeah.
That's awesome.
So you just mentioned about possibly being a long snapper if you had to choose a different position. How important would you say working with your long snapper or holder, and
Oh,
how important is building a relationship with
it,
them?
it's one of the most important things, and I think that's why special teams units on team like on any team has the best group of guys. They're the most close group of guys on a team, usually. It's because we have to know that your job is just important to me as my job is to you, because the snap affects the hold and the hold affects the kick. So we all have to be on one wavelength, and we all have to know and trust each other to do their job, but also help each other do each other's job. So I think having a relationship with those guys is one of the most important things, like that you'll do in like college. Is having relationships with your teammates is very important. It affects a lot of how you play. It affects how you practice. And so the better relationship you have with them, the better you are going to be as a player.
All right, tell our fans. I think coming up soon, we're supposed to have Bengals punter Drew Chrisman on the show soon, pretty
Oh,
soon.
nice.
But I want to. He has his own love story. But I want to actually tell our fans about your love story. I saw a picture of you proposing to your girlfriend, and
Yep.
take us to your love story with her. And now, what's it like? Calling her your fiance now.
Yeah, it's crazy. So I met her at my first ever game at ASU. I was looking up at the stands, just taking everything in, and I saw her smile, and I was like, "Ooh, dang!"
Yeah.
And I kind of kept looking at her. My dad got mad at me for looking up in the stands. He looked at me. He was like, "Pay attention to the game." And I was like, "All right, all right." I kept looking up, and she was beautiful. I could tell she was looking at me. And after the game, I mean, we go in the locker room. I didn't think anything of it, and she ended up following me on Instagram. So
Oh
we
wow.
talked through there, and from there, we've been super close. And she moved up here with me. She's living with me now, and we're getting married May 12th of next year.
That's awesome. Congrats, you guys.
Thank you. Appreciate
Congrats.
it.
Hey, that's awesome. Hey, we love having love stories on the show
Yep.
too.
Yep.
So you talked about golfing before,
Mhm.
how it used to be your favorite sport. Are you still golfing?
Oh yeah, I just shot 71 last weekend.
Oh wow. Woo. Hey, we gotta get into a golf tournament. You gotta get you
Oh
into
yeah, dude. I'm trying to get a golf NIL deal. I'm trying to find something. I'm trying to find a course up here or something. Yeah, I
Do you
love
have a
golf.
favorite
I
course
mean,
you've played at?
ooh. Yeah, I mean, I just played Pebble with my dad a couple months ago, and you can't beat Pebble. Pebble's amazing.
Mhm.
Um, we played a bunch of courses in Ireland, Port Monarch, Trump Doombeg. Those are some really nice courses. Yeah, I mean, I played a lot of different places. I love golf though. It's such a fun sport. I love it.
Yeah, we actually we cover the women's golf tournament LPGA.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, we cover that here in New Jersey. It's called in
there
the
we
Upper
go.
Montclair Golf Course. Amazing experience covering these
Mhm.
women and talented young ladies there.
Oh yeah.
It's amazing how I mean golf is one of the toughest sports, also in my opinion.
Mhm.
Um, it's a great sport to cover and watch. It's all about in the mind,
Mhm.
and also about aim too. So which is
Yeah. So when I try to explain kicking to people, I usually use golf. Golf and kicking are very one and the same. Their swing paths are very, very similar. If you look at a driver swing path and you look at a kicker's leg swing path, it's almost you take the head of a driver and the foot of a kicker, and it's almost the exact same thing.
Yeah. Speaking of golf, if we need to get you a deal there, NIL deal or something.
Yeah.
And so, before you know, it, you might be playing in a celebrity golf tournament with
Hey, I
Travis
hope so.
Kelce.
I'll carry anyone's team who has me, especially up here, man. I kill my drives up here with that elevation.
Yeah.
Woo!
Hey, you'll be kicking 75-yard field goals.
I hope so.
Do you have any golfers that you've looked up to that have also maybe helped you with football?
Yeah, I think yes. I love Bubba, Phil Mickelson too. Jordan Spieth. Bubba gave me his when I was young, he gave me his pink driver shaft.
Oh wow.
So I got that hanging up on my wall. That's something real special to me. So I love golf, man. And looking up to those guys, you just look how calm and composed they are over the ball every time. And that's something that I look at is like these guys can be in some of the most stressful scenarios where it's a shot or two that they need to get and they can't mess up on, and they are always calm and collected. They always have little things that they do. And one of the best books I think you could read for golf or kicking is Golf is Not a Game of Perfect by Bob Rotella. I just finished reading that, and it talks about how important the mental side of everything is, and how staying calm and collected and focusing on something other than what you're thinking about just helps you so much. And it's helped me a lot kicking and golfing as well.
Yeah, you know, you want to know who's my favorite golfer right now?
Hmm.
Scotty Scheffler. He's a stud.
Yeah, I love Scheffler. He's good. He's real
He's
good.
a stud. This
He's
guy,
a stud.
like he does. I mean, he is his swing is effortless. It's
Yeah,
amazing.
effortless, just so smooth.
Yeah. So speaking, tell our fans. Obviously, family is really important. When it comes to sports and any other job. So, what's it been like for you having your family support you from day one, and obviously your father, and then your sisters, and your mom, and the rest of the family?
It's truly been special. I owe all I've done and all I'm going to do to them, and they've been so special and important in my life. And the older I get and the more mature you get, the more you can look and reflect. And they've been there for me always. And same with my sisters. And even though like we bickered as siblings or whatever, I look back at them and I'm like, they're just looking up to their big brother, and they're just all this different stuff. So it's so important, I think, to have a family that really cares and really invests in you, and that's what you're going to want to do to your kids. I mean, so having that example of what a father, a mother, a sibling's love is to you, it's just so special to me, and it really resonates with me and makes me want to work harder and make me want to go in every day and try to attack the day for them, you know.
Mhm.
Staying on the topic of family, obviously your father played in the NFL. What is it like meeting people through him, players that he's played with, and those connections that you've made because of him?
It's really cool, really really cool. I mean, I go on trips with him and we'll run into somebody. I'm like, I would never have met you in my life. Like, and you just get to have these conversations. And I think the longer I go into my career, the more time I've spent with him and meeting these type of people is I get to interact with them better. I know how to communicate with them. You meet a lot of people when they meet a celebrity for the first time. They're fanning out. They're all this stuff. Since I've been doing this since I was literally 4 years old, meeting people, it's allowed me to hold conversations and just interact way better in that atmosphere. And so it's been real beneficial to me just from the business side, making connections and relationship wise in sport world. Yeah, it's been awesome.
Okay, here's a great question from one of our fans. They want to know, what would you say your best memory watching a father play?
Best memory was man, I don't know the year. It was Cardinals versus Broncos. My dad had 24 points by himself that game, scored a touchdown and made 5 field goals and I think 5 or 6 extra points,
Damn.
something like that. So he killed it. I mean, he's got a picture in his wallet where the the TV screen read Jay Feely 24, Broncos 6. So it was crazy, insane. And so after that game, he's all excited. It's the best game he's ever had. He comes to the sideline, grabs me out of the stands. I hop, some random fan picks me up, gets me off the stands. I go in his arms, and we've got a here. I think I got a picture of it real quick. Let me pull
What
this
does
up.
he think of you being in Bronco territory now?
Ah, he loves it. He gets to call a couple games. I don't know if you guys can see that.
Oh, I see. Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that's back in the day. And so he takes me into the locker room with him, and that's my first time really being in an NFL locker room after a game. And it's just so special because it shows how much I mean to him that he wanted to share that moment with me.
That-
And so it's awesome. Yeah.
That's like so we 2 years ago, I think we had Luke Akers. I don't know if you know him,
Yeah.
David Akers' son. So we had him on the show, and he had the same exact picture, basically, of his father holding him.
Yep.
So it's kind of cool to see, like full life comes full circle,
Mhm.
and he was playing the same exact position as
Yeah.
David too. So it's
Yeah.
amazing to see that.
Yeah.
Wow.
It is truly amazing. Yeah.
Did growing up with a NFL player as a dad give you any sort of like special treatment in school? And then obviously you being a great athlete yourself.
Uh I mean, always. Yeah, you're never gonna escape it. I mean, when you have somebody who's, even though he's a kicker, I mean, he was in the NFL for a while. He was a great kicker, so there's always gonna be people who know you because you're dad, and still every single day, like there's stuff like that. I always tried to keep it on the down low. I never wanted to be the kid who was like, "Oh, well, my dad was kicking," like whatever. I hated that. I hated being only recognized by that, and so that's why I'm working now to only be like it recognize me by me, but there's the benefits too. I mean, it was fun and it was great, and I wouldn't change it for the world, but stuff like that. I mean, it's how you make it growing up and stuff like that. So, yeah.
All right, so talk about. Can you tell our fans once the season starts? Obviously it's come up. It's upon us soon. College football, and you can see it already with NFL training camps starting up.
Mhm.
But for you, what's going to be like for you and your teammates when you put that jersey on the first time in the first game of the season at home in front of the home fans? What's it going to be like for you?
It's going to be amazing. Our first game, I think, yeah, we're going to be away TCU,
Okay.
college game day at
Oh
TCU,
wow, let's go.
national, like the people who lost in the national championship, but it's going to be a crazy crowd. And putting on that jersey for the first time, running out with the team, it's going to feel good. It's going to feel really good because we put in a lot of work from January till now. Well, I have, the whole team has, and so we've been working our butts off. So it's going to be real nice to see that pay off, and hopefully and probably during the season, it's going to pay off all that work.
And you said your father's will be calling a couple of games, right? And
He won't be calling a couple games, but he calls NFL games,
yeah.
but he has a couple games off to where he'll be able to finally come and watch me play. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that'll be fun. That'll
Can
be
you
a lot.
talk, can you talk about the struggle of trying to kick in a very bad weather scene? If
Oh
it's
yeah.
windy, rain.
I mean, even our spring game, we got out there to warm up, and there was still like 7 inches of snow on the ground that they were plowing with no tarp underneath. So we're like, uh-oh. So we get out there, it's slippery, it's wet. I mean, it's cold outside, all that stuff. So it really makes you focus on your fundamentals and really focus your mind on this is just another kick. It's no different. Like maybe there's a couple touches that you need to make. So I like when I went out there and saw the snow, I went and grabbed a different cleat to see if that was going to need it with a screw in cleat, so it like would be in the ground a little bit firmer. So there's a lot of different stuff like that, like maybe a deeper plant if it's a little wet on the ground. But really in games like that, you gotta just trust yourself and not really change too much and just be really confident in yourself that you're gonna make that kick.
Hmm. All right, I'm gonna put you on the spot. So tell our fans on a scale of 1 to 10, or how's your father as a broadcaster and calling games as a
Ooh, on a scale of 1 to 10?
yeah.
Hmm. On his good days, I will give him like a 9.5. I give him a 9.5 on his good days, but there has been a couple mistakes. Like oh man, it was Eastern Michigan. It was back when he was calling college games. The kick was like wide right, and the glass was like messed up, so he called it like off the crossbar and in. And oh, my whole football team in high school never let him live that down for
Oh,
probably like 2 years. It was hilarious. It's still the funniest thing ever. But he's got a couple funny bits that he does. So I love listening to him because he'll throw something in there that'll make you laugh, and it's hilarious.
he will we gotta get him on the show now too.
Yeah.
He's gonna enjoy this.
After your football career is over, could you also see yourself going into sportscasting?
I stutter a little bit. I stutter a little bit. I don't know if I'd be great at talking, but possibly. I definitely like to see where he kind of got the whole thing from and what made him pursue that career option. So who knows? I don't have no clue really what I'm gonna do after football. I might try to play golf. I might do something else, but God's got a plan for me, and I'm just gonna ride out everything He's got till I can do it.
I know. So entering the transfer portal to college, it says you're a junior.
Yeah.
But obviously you can eligible for the, but I don't. It's too obviously it's too early to tell. But are you planning on staying for your senior year, or what are like
Oh, I'll stay my last 3 years. Yeah, I got 3 years left. I'll stay for all three of them probably.
before the NFL?
Yeah, yeah. I don't see specialists why you would go early. I mean, maybe if you're like the Luke Rosa winner and you're gonna like definitely gonna get drafted. I could see that, but it's just a benefit to be able to kick an
Yeah,
extra year. And I mean, you're getting room and board paid for. You're around some of your best friends you're ever gonna have. You're playing college ball, which is
yep.
in my opinion, it's better than the NFL just because of how much hype and fun is around it, and there's so much other stuff that the NFL doesn't have. So why not take that? I don't see any benefit for me as a kicker taking a year out to go early and do a draft, especially when I haven't played too much. So yeah, I'll definitely take my 3 years.
What is the biggest piece of advice you've ever received and that still sticks with you today?
It's from my dad, and very recently that it's just kicking. It's just football. Like there's life after this. There's life out there after this. It's like you're focusing so much on this little tiny part of your life that these 4 years that I'll be here, 3 years that I'll be here left, is not to make it too much and too important in your life. You have to have balance. And if you go after one thing too hard, you can ruin the rest of that. So the biggest advice he's given me, it's just kicking. Enjoy it. Have fun. Hang out with your teammates. Build relationships. Work your butt off. Kick however. If you go out there and you suck, who cares? It's just kicking. It's just college football. It's not what's going to be the rest of your life. So I think that's the best piece of advice I've received is just this is college football. It's supposed to be fun. Yeah, I'm going to work my butt off. If I suck, who gives a crap?
Yeah.
It's whatever. It's just a piece of my life. So I can't wait to work my butt off. I can't wait to kick, and I'm trying to go to the NFL. So I'm going to keep working at it. But that advice definitely allows me to be a little bit more freer, have some more fun with my life, and yeah, and that's how he always was, and it worked out for him too.
So tell our fans and what is a reason why kickers and punters or and special teams players get undervalued the most, and just tell that to our fans. I don't know what the reason.
I would say that there's just like because like the guys that most people that are valuing kickers, they were the kickers on their team in high school who didn't do anything, hated conditioning, didn't want to lift, didn't want to like only kick the ball. So that's what they're comparing them to. And then you go and you meet our team, like half of my teammates, like there's guys that work their butt off harder than I've ever seen. Like my buddy Gage King, he's the snapper for UCF. That dude works harder than anyone else. He would be in the weight room, like after we've done full lifts, after we've done full practice, everything else. He's in the weight room at the rec center gym, like for another 3 hours just working because like that's what he does. And so I think the bad rep on kickers is just because there are like bad reps on some people. I mean, just like you're going to have a wide receiver who dogs it every play, that doesn't make every wide receiver dog it on every play. No. So I think there's enough examples of people in the kicker position not being football guys and not working out, not wanting to work hard, that it's left a stigma that's how all kickers are. But if you seriously, I ask anyone to come watch me work out, come watch me work, and you'll see that stigma's not true. I work my butt off. Guys work their butts off. I mean, and that's who you see in the NFL. That's who you see get to the NFL, guys who put in the work and who are there and who are good shit and like all that. So I think there's a stigma around that just from there are examples that you can see, and it's probably more than you would see in a different position, but you can't let that control you. You can't let it affect you either. So
Well, you've been working hard since high school and since you started playing football. I've seen your videos and it's amazing. I've seen videos that your dad posted on social media and you have two great people to learn from, Justin Tucker and your father. So you're in good position and tell our fan we have actually we have one more fan. We'll take one more fan question here. They want to know your favorite pregame meal and favorite postgame meal.
Ooh, all right, okay. Let's see. Pre-game meal. I don't eat too much, but I do eat. I like me. I'll take like a half a steak. I'll get half a steak. Just have that for the meat, and then maybe like a slice of toast or a dinner roll or something like that. That's okay pre-game meal. Just something to sit in the stomach. After the game, though, I will go crazy. At ASU, it was always board and brew. I went and got this like cheesy filet steak sandwich.
Yeah.
Here, it's probably going to be probably a Reuben or something like that. I love me some sandwiches, so I'll probably go get a nice sandwich.
Go. Jeremy?
So your dad moved teams quite a few times. Did you have a favorite team growing up, or were you rooting for just
Always,
whatever team?
always whatever team he was on. It was always that team. I was a bandwagon for life. Whatever team he was on, that's my team.
Just to feed off of Jeremy's question. Speaking of teams, obviously you guys are from Arizona. You're from Arizona, and David, your father played for. I mean, Jay played for the Arizona Cardinals, and well, how special was that being from Arizona, and then him and Jay playing for Arizona?
Uh, so when we started living in Arizona because he played there. So we moved around all the time, and then once he got to Arizona, we ended up staying there. So it was cool while we lived there, while he was playing for them. It was crazy. Like there's like piece memories where I just remember him getting recognized at restaurants or whatever, and that was always cool as a kid. It was like, oh crap, my dad's famous. Like whatever. So yeah, I mean that was really cool, and it's really cool now, especially for him. It's cool to see him get recognized by some old fans, and like that game where I said he's like, man, you really effed up my fantasy points, and he's like, yeah, sorry.
That's
So
crazy.
it's really cool, especially to stay there, especially my 2 years at Arizona State. I was close to family, so it was really nice to be able to grow up there and be able to have that connection. Yeah.
Was it a struggle constantly moving around?
No, I don't. I mean, if you ask my parents, I bet 100% it was. For us, I mean, we were still super young. I mean, I think I was in fourth grade when we ended up going to Arizona, so it wasn't too bad. Um, for them though, I bet moving was terrible because I can't imagine all this stuff. Like moving now sucks, and I'm in an apartment. Imagine moving a house. Like, ugh, can't imagine.
But yeah. So before we let you go, tell our fans who's the funniest person in your family, and who's the funniest teammate you played with.
My dad is definitely the funniest person in my family, 100%. He's hilarious. Love his jokes. On the team, makes me laugh. Mm. JD on the team is pretty funny. JD's hilarious. Every time I'm around him, I'm laughing. And at ASU, there was a bunch of guys on ASU that were pretty funny. I gotta meet the team a little bit more, and that once we start getting to fall camp, I think that'll happen, and we'll end up getting a lot of brotherhoods formed there. So yeah, it's gonna be fun.
But speaking of Arizona State, did you get to play with Rashad White?
I did, yeah.
Oh,
Rashad, I like Rashad a lot.
yeah, that's my guy right there. We had him on our show
Yeah,
3 years ago when he was
great dude, great
yeah,
dude.
he's awesome, and now he's
Yeah,
killing it with the Buccaneers. And
killing it. He that's the new type of running back that
yeah.
everyone wants. They
Oh
want the
yeah,
guy who can go out and receive a ball. That's why Saquon didn't get a contract.
yeah. And because Rashad White is like all about his speed, and then he can move, do multiple things too.
Yeah, and who better to have your first year with than
Oh,
Tom
Tom
Brady?
Brady,
That guy's going to teach you the game right there.
yeah. But tell her if Jeremy got one more thing.
No, that's I'm good.
All right, so can you tell our fans where they can find you on social media, and what do you guys have coming up next?
Yeah, my social media is just all lowercase Jace_Feely. Pretty easy. Let's see here. This is our last full week of lifts. Then we got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of maxes, and then we'll be away and come back and fall camp. Fall camp, baby. Stay locked in.
Oh, so there you have it. Jace Feely,
Yep.
a kicker for University of Colorado. Obviously, his father, Jay Feely, played in the NFL, former NFL kicker. Now Jace is going to have the opportunity to play for one of the best NFL players to do it, Deion Sanders, when he comes back. And wishing your coach a speedy recovery. And I can't
Yeah.
wait. I can't wait to see him.
Everyone get in some prayers for him.
Yeah,
100%.
everyone, please pray for Dion, and can't wait to see him back on the field coaching you guys. And Jace, I just want to say thank you for
I
coming on,
appreciate it.
telling your
100%.
story, and keep up the great work. We'll be following your career, and we can't wait to see you do big things.
That sounds good, man. Thank you, guys.
Go.
Thank you for coming on.
I will be
Yeah,
watching.
100%.
We'll be watching week 1 against TCU. So.
Oh yeah, let's go.
All right.
All right, I'll see you
Thank
guys.
you. Yep.
See ya.
Take care.